Guys doing? You doing good?
Yeah.
It's good. You guys gonna check out the state fair?
Yeah.
It's good. I'm working the beer gardens. Sorry if I'm not as funny tonight. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. I originally went to bed at like 3 in the morning, but then I started to dream. What I dreamt about was people handing me tickets, going, "I'll have a Michelob Ultra and a Bud Light." I was like, "Yeah, you got it." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna work overtime for no pay. I'm just gonna get up for a little while." I saw a poster for a support group for sobriety. They said, "Come and join us for a meeting if you're drug-free and or alcohol-free. Drug-free and or alcohol-free." That means that if you do drugs, you're good to go. I was like, what if I'm drug-free, right? I don't do drugs, but I'm not alcohol-free. Like sometimes I drink beer, right? What then? This is not the place for you. Sometimes I'll buy some beer and it's a little bit skunked. I mean, I get that. Like the store's trying to get rid of their old inventory so they can make their money back, right? Sometimes you can go to the Salvation Army for free food if you're broke. And I mean, if you're addicted to drugs, the government has like methadone clinics to stave your addiction a bit. But if you can't afford beer, that's just too bad, right? I think that they should have like a Salvation Army for people who drink beer. I hate slip-on ties as a concept. I think it's a total cop-out, right? I think that learning how to put on a tie is a big part of a man's coming of age, right? The same way it is with learning how to tie your shoes as a kid. I just think that if you don't know how to put on a tie, how you just don't do it at all, right? It's almost worse to just put on the facade, like to pretend that you know how to do it. Like, what's next? Clip-on shoelaces for coddled kids? Sometimes when I come up with a joke, I have to make sure that it's something I came up with and not just something I heard that I'm remembering and parakeeting, right? There's this video game called Guitar Hero, and there's a derivative called DJ Hero. But I don't know if they could do a video game called Comedy Hero. I was trying to work out how they could do it. I don't think they could do it, right? Because, I mean, if I tell a joke that's somebody else's joke, you'll instinctively get pissed off about it. But like if I go do like an AC/DC cover at the bar, there's a good chance you'll be really into it, right? I think that comedy is an entertainment form, but it's also literary in nature because, the cover joke is not, it doesn't inspire good feelings. That shit is plagiarism. I saw a petition asking for people to give signatures so that it can be legal again to break people's car windows if they have a dog in the car. I guess that's illegal now. Boo-hoo, right? Like, I think the people that go around doing that don't actually have dogs, right? Otherwise, they'd see it differently. Like, this guy brought his dog on an errand. That's actually the more pain in the ass way to do it, right? I don't know. Right? I don't know, what do you want, a medal? The dog probably, cut and bloodied itself on shattered glass to get out of the car, probably got, impounded by animal control, is now at the pound, or got hit by another car. That's terrible. When I was a kid, I used to listen to really abrasive, like death metal and black metal, but I understood most people wouldn't have a taste for it because it was too extreme, right? But I feel like nowadays, kids listen to this really abrasive rap music, right? It's got like, suggestive lyrics, like it's the mainstream, right? But they do it in a way that it's either that they understand that most anyone would hate it and they're doing it deliberately to try to annoy them, or else it's that they're genuinely convinced that it's really good stuff and they just need to expose everyone else to it in a really insistent way so that they'll open their minds to it and come around, right? Personally, I think that if they can't just listen to it on the headphones, maybe they're not that into it either, right? Maybe they're just like trying to delude themselves along with everybody else, right? I don't know. Maybe it's a learned behavior, right? Maybe it's something they saw somebody else do and now they're trying to imitate them. I guess that's a part of life too, right? Like you remember like 12 years ago when guys started going around with rap music like blaring out of their cell phone speakers? I always have to ask these guys, is that your theme music? So that you can look cooler? So that means we're both in agreement that you look pretty ridiculous, right? I mean, take a look at yourself. There's a form of art called abstract impressionism, where it's people like drop droplets of paint on the canvas. I ruined one of my mom's rags. She's like, "What the hell did you do here?" I was like, "Mom, that's a drawing." Nowadays, when people do portrait pictures, it's always at like a lake or a valley or like a gully or something. That's good, right? Back when I was a kid, everybody did portrait pictures at this place with a blue background and like a gray spray painted line around it. It's like, where is that? That's at like the mall. Why does everybody go there? Because if you don't do that, your eyes just look red. They look demonic. I don't know. I think the concept of going to the bathroom is pretty gross, right? But the concept of vomiting is even worse, right? But I don't think that's right. I think the reason is that, if you go to the bathroom, there's two separate receptacles for that. But if you vomit, you just have to do it in one of those. That's gross. I think that we should invent a new receptacle for vomiting to make it more socially acceptable. There's this song that goes like, "You're so vain that you probably think this song is about you." But the way I see it is that song is about someone, right? If that person, identifies that, are they vain too? I don't know. Maybe it's that it's not about anyone in particular and it's an infinitive tense you. That means it's about everybody. So I think that makes the person that wrote it even more vain, right? I don't know. If Carly Simon, if you ever hear this joke, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You're so vain. And yes, this joke is about you. Hey, I'm Will. It's my time. You guys be good, all right? Welcome Preston Williams up now.
Preston Williams!